America's presidents have seemingly had a penchant for war.
Saddam Hussein and his sons must leave Iraq within 48 hours.
And this time, it's much closer to home. No, I'm not talking about the Chinese air balloon that invaded US airspace, as this war is propped up within the confines of the United States territorial sovereignty. America's presidents are now grappling with a new face of war, an unforgiving Leviathan. The classified information gate has prompted the United States government to embark on a legal trail against its former regime's mishandling of strategic classified information, which is considered a national security threat.
Hillary Clinton was taking the weekend to prepare for the final debate this Wednesday, but as she stepped out of the spotlight, WikiLeaks released another batch of emails thought to be from Clinton's top aides.
Well, today we're learning that President Biden's legal team found another batch of classified documents. A source saying these documents came in searches that began after the November discovery of the classified docs from now President Biden's time.
And now, former President Donald J. Trump has been selected to face federal jurors in a 37-count indictment of mishandling classified information. As on June 8, 2023, Special Counsel Jack Smith, who is equally investigating Donald Trump's foiled attempt at overturning the 2020 elections, which resulted in the Capitol Hill riots, who has now unsealed the federal indictment of Donald J. Trump for mishandling of classified documents. This makes Donald J. Trump the first former president to be indicted on federal criminal charges at the Southern District of Florida with 37 counts. Donald Trump was arraigned on Tuesday, the 16th June 2023 before Magistrate Judge John Goodman. However, a Trump-appointed U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon will oversee the trial unless she recuses herself, as she had previously handled former president's case to challenge the Mar-a-Lago evidence collection. Her ruling was held to be controversial as it allowed a third-party special master to oversee evidence that was obtained in the execution of the search warrant by the FBI. However, the appeals court overturned her ruling. The substratum of this suit stems back to the 1970s when President Ronald Reagan enacted the Presidential Records Act in 1978 that shifted the legal ownership of official records from the presidency to the public under the custody of the National Archives and Record Administration. Equally, this act acted as a bulwark to stop former President Nixon from destroying tapes leaked to the Watergate scandal. They say the internet never forgets. Just as soon as Trump's indictment was unsealed, a treasure trove of past public declarations of Trump's sentiments on classified information surfaced on the internet. In the months leading up to the presidential election of 2016, Trump made the following campaign promises.
Iteration. I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.
We also need to fight this battle by collecting intelligence and then protecting our classified secrets.
And have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified.
On November 3rd, 2016, he stated service members here in North Carolina have risked their lives to acquire classified intelligence to protect our country. Trump won the 2016 presidential elections, and during his presidency, Trump received Presidential Daily Briefs, which is a collection of classified intelligence from the United States intelligence community. As president, Trump still spoke highly of his constitutional mandate to protect the nation's classified information, including controlling access to it. He argued that access to the nation's secrets should be in furtherance of the nation's interests and not having such information used to validate political attacks. So what exactly constitutes classified information? Classified information comes under the auspices of the National Security Information, which has been aptly described as information that is owned and under the control of the United States government. This is passed on to a myriad of executive orders. The National Security Information is classified into 3 tiers: top secret, secret, and confidential. Further classifications include no foreign, which means not releasable to foreign nationals. Equally, such classified information is designated as sensitive compartmented information, and thus such information is processed, stored, used, or discussed in an accredited sensitive compartmented information facility, which only authorized individuals with appropriate security clearances and permissions have the privilege to access such information. The United States, in furtherance of the protection of classified information, also established special access programs. And in these programs, only those who are lawfully authorized and who have signed an approved non-disclosure agreement would access such information. When former President Donald J. Trump's tenure came to an end, he ran for re-election in the presidential election 2020. However, he got trounced by the current president of the United States, Joe Biden. In January 2021, as Trump was leaving the White House, his White House staff and personal aide, Cam Bodyman, Walter Notter, packed boxes containing hundreds of classified documents to be transported from White House to the Mar-a-Lago Club in Florida, where they were stored at a white and gold ballroom in which events took place. The boxes stayed there until March 2021, and the boxes were moved from the white and gold ballroom to the business center at the Mar-a-Lago Club. On April 5th, 2021, Trump's employees sought permission from him to move the documents from the business center to make room for staff to use it as an office. With Trump's approval, the boxes were moved from the business center to the bathroom and shower at the Mar-a-Lago Club. In May to June 2021, Trump directed the boxes to be moved from the bathroom and shower in the lake room to the storage room. On 7th December 2021, Walter Notter went into the storage room where the boxes had just been moved and found the boxes had fallen and the contents spilled onto the floor. Among the documents included one that was marked secret, which denoted that such information was only releasable to the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, which consisted of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United States, and the United Kingdom. Notter texts a Trump employee a photo of the spilled documents, which were visibly classified information. Equally, in May 2021, Trump directed that some of his boxes be brought to his summer residence at the Bedminster Club. As part of the treasure trove that resurfaced in 2016, Donald J. Trump went on a rant on unlawful disclosures of classified information. He pondered how could the press get a hold of such information. He castigated the press as it was illegal to obtain and have such information, but more importantly, he unabashedly shamed those who leaked classified information to the press. Stand by. In July 2021, Trump gave an interview at his Bedminster Club to a writer, a publisher, in connection to a forthcoming book, allegedly by Mark Meadow. In the interview, those in attendance were the writer, the publisher, and two of Trump's staff. Trump was informed at the interview that he was being recorded and had consented to it. Trump went into full defensive mode due to media reports stating that he wanted to attack country A, which is allegedly Iran, but his senior military official advised him against it. He argued that it was actually the senior military official, that is allegedly General Mark Milley, who had planned the attack on Iran. And thereafter, Trump sought to corroborate his other side of the story by displaying for all at the interview to see the classified information on the planned attack. Here is an audio transcript of what unfolded at the interview.
I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came out. Look, this was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department.
In or about August-September 2021, still at his Bedminster Club, Trump, with a representative of his Political Action Committee, showed the PAC representative a classified map of a country in which ongoing military operation was taking place. However, Trump stated that the military operation wasn't going well. Trump, therefore, in his insatiable need to be right, showed classified information to individuals who did not have a security clearance and equally did not need to know the classified information about the military operation, thereby failing to protect classified information by enabling unauthorized disclosure. Equally, the Mar-a-Lago Club and the Bedminster Club were not authorized locations for storing classified information. The walls were now starting to cave in, as in May 2021, the National Archives and Record Administration, which was responsible for archiving presidential records, incessantly demanded that Trump turn over presidential classified records he kept during his presidency. Trump, however, would not oblige to the demand. This was until the NARA, in around June, warned Trump that if he did not comply, they would refer the matter of the missing records to the Department of Justice. From November 2021 to January 2022, Trump directed his employees to move classified documents from his storage room to his residence. On November 17, 2021, one of Trump's employees sent him a photo of boxes stacked in the storage room. On January 13, 2022, Walter Notta texted Trump employee that Trump was reviewing the documents and tracking the boxes. This is because Trump would soon hand over some of the documents in compliance with the National Archives Record Administration request for the classified documents. On January 17th, Notta and Trump's employee gathered 15 boxes from Trump's residence, took them to a commercial truck which delivered the documents to NARA. Upon delivery to NARA, they reviewed the documents and determined 14 of the boxes had classification markings. They equally found 197 documents with classification markings. 98 were marked secret, 30 were marked top secret, and the remainder were marked confidential. On 9th February 2022, NARA referred the discovery of classified documents to the Department of Justice for investigation. Soon after, the FBI would open investigation. Subsequently, a federal grand jury opened an investigation on April 26, 2022. In May 2022, Notta was interviewed by the FBI regarding the location and movement of boxes prior to the production to NARA. He made the following false and misleading statements. 1. He wasn't aware of Trump's boxes being brought to Trump's residence for his review prior to delivery of documents to NARA. 2. He claimed he did not know how the boxes had gotten to Trump's residence before being taken to the commercial truck for delivery to NARA. Thirdly, he feigned even more ignorance when asked whether he knew whether the boxes were stored before movement to Trump's residence and whether they were in a secure location. He stated, I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I honestly don't know." The severity of this case began to sink in. On May 11, 2022, the grand jury issued a subpoena to the office of Donald J. Trump requiring production of all documents with classification markings in his possession, custody, or control. Trump's attorneys informed him of the subpoena, and he authorized one of his attorneys to accept service. He set up a meeting with them on 23 May 2022 to discuss the subpoena. At the meeting, his attorneys advised him that there should be a search for documents that would be responsive to the subpoena and provide a certification that would be in compliance with the subpoena. Trump sought to employ chicanery and argued that they should play ball and it would look good if they told the jury he did not have the documents, and that more shockingly that they had no documents, as he did not want anybody rummaging, as he put it, through his boxes. In his plot of machinations, he nudged in a not-so-subtle way that one of his attorneys should emulate one of Hillary Clinton's attorney, who took it upon himself to delete all her 30,000 emails, which resulted in her being exculpable of any wrongdoing. At the culmination of the meeting, they set another meeting on June 2nd, 2022 to search for the documents with classification markings to produce in response to the May 11th subpoena. Trump informed one of his attorneys it wasn't necessary for him to be at the oncoming meeting. The scheme had just begun. While Trump exuded a calm poise back at his residence, his storage room was being turned upside down as employees moved helter-skelter, moving boxes from his storage room to his residence. On June 1st, 2022, a day short of his scheduled attorney meeting, Trump called his attorney to confirm the meeting. The meeting was to review the boxes that had been transported from the White House and remained in storage at Mar-a-Lago. Further, the essence of the meeting was equally so that the attorney could have a custodian of records certify that the May 11th subpoena had been complied with fully. On June 2nd, 2022, just hours short of the attorney's arrival, Trump called Notta at 9:29 a.m. for approximately 24 seconds. Just about 3 hours later, Notta and another of Trump's employees moved approximately 30 boxes from Trump's residence to the storage room. It's alleged that between May 23rd and June 2nd, 2022, Walter Notta moved 64 boxes from the storage room to Trump's residence and brought only 30 boxes to the storage room. In the afternoon, at around 3 p.m., Trump's attorney arrived at Mar-a-Lago. Notta escorted him to the storage room. He began reviewing the documents in the boxes, and this went on for about 3 hours. He located 38 documents with classification markings and placed them in a red-weld folder. He thereafter used a clear duct tape to seal the red-weld folder with documents bearing classification markings inside them. At around 6 p.m., they were done, and Nauta took the attorney to the dining room where Trump was, and in an Oscar-themed deserved theatrical performance, Trump asked his attorney, "Did you find anything? Is it good? Is it bad?" He also insinuated that the attorney take the Redwood folder to his hotel room, and if he found anything, he should just black it out. In that evening, Trump's attorney contacted another of Trump's attorney to come to Mar-a-Lago the next morning to be the custodian of records and sign a certification regarding the review of documents with classification markings. He equally requested an FBI agent to meet him at the Mar-a-Lago club the next day, that is June 3rd, so that he could turn over the documents in compliance with the May 11th subpoena. On 3rd June 2022, Trump's attorney, who had agreed to act as custodian of records for the office of Donald J. Trump, signed a certification to that effect. In certifying, she made the following affirmance based on the information that was provided to her. 1. That a diligent search was conducted of the boxes that were moved from the White House to Mar-a-Lago. 2. The search was conducted after receipt of the subpoena in order to locate any and all documents responsive to the subpoena. 3rd, that any and all responsive documents accompanying this certification were provided. These affirmance were not remotely true, as the attorney had not reviewed the May 11th subpoena. Equally, she had not reviewed the contents of the Redwood folder. Shortly after Trump's attorney turned over the Redwood folder containing classification markings as well as the false certification signed to the Department of Justice and FBI personnel. It's alleged that very same day that Walter Nauta loaded several of Trump's boxes along with other items on an aircraft that flew Trump and his family north for the summer. Following the turnover of the documents to the DOJ and FBI, Trump claimed he was an open book. However, this did not age well, as on July 2022, a surveillance video from the Mar-a-Lago club surfaced, and the FBI and grand jury obtained and reviewed the footage showing movement of boxes. This prompted the FBI to execute a court-authorized search warrant at the Mar-a-Lago club. The search warrant authorized the FBI to search and seize all documents with classification markings. During the execution of the search warrant, the FBI seized 102 documents with classification markings in Trump's office and storage room, which led to his federal indictment in Palm Beach County, Southern District of Florida, for 37 counts of mishandling of classified information. The counts include Count 31, which is willful retention of national defensive information in violation of the Espionage Act, and Count 32, that is conspiracy to obstruct justice, which is allegedly that Donald Trump, in concerted effort with Walter Nauta, conspired to withhold or conceal classified information from official proceeding. Count 33, which is withholding a document or record in an attempt to hide it or conceal it from the federal grand jury. Count 34, which is corruptly concealing a document or record with classification markings from the federal grand jury. Count 35, which is concealing a document in a federal investigation in order to impede investigation from federal criminal investigations. Count 36, which is a scheme to conceal, which is willful falsifying and covering up of material fact from a federal grand jury investigation. Count 37 and Count 38 on false and misleading representations. Following his indictment, this is what Trump had to say.
I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person.
Trump also claimed that the indictment was a ploy of election interference, as it had never happened before.